So if you're watching this video, you probably saw something about life insurance sales or building an agency, and you're curious about what this actually looks like. So let me tell you where I'm at right now, and then I'll tell you how I got here. I run a life insurance agency with over 100 agents. Last year we did $6 million in total agency production. That means $6 million in commissions were paid out to our team. We went from 5 agents to over 100 in just about a year's time, and now I make more money in a single month than I made in an entire year in my corporate job. And I do that now all with my eyes closed because I've built a business. But 5 years ago, I was sitting in a cubicle, making $50,000 a year, feeling completely stuck. And my first year in this industry, I actually went backwards. I made $20,000. I went into debt, and people told me I should quit. So if you're wondering how I went from that to this, and if this is something you think you could do too, keep watching. Because I'm gonna tell you the whole story, the good parts, the hard parts, and what it actually takes to build something like this. So let me take you back to where I was 5 years ago. I was working in corporate sales, I had just graduated college, and I was making $50,000 a year, which at the time felt like great money for a new college grad. I had a salary, benefits, the whole corporate package. But I realized very quickly, after about a year, that there was nowhere for me to go up. The people in the positions ahead of me had been there for 10, 15 years, and they were also 10 to 15 years away from retirement. So I had nowhere to go up. It was either sitting, waiting for them to quit or retire, or I needed to jump around, play the corporate game, go to a new company and start over. But the thing that really got me was the money. I was in a corporate sales role, I was an account manager, I didn't make that much in commission, so it didn't really matter how hard I worked or how hard I didn't work, but I was still getting roughly the same paycheck. And I remember thinking, this is it? Like, I can work my ass off and close huge deals, or I can coast and do the bare minimum, and either way I'm making the same $50,000 a year. That was the final straw for me. I wanted to do something where I had a little bit more control, not only over my schedule, but over my income. I didn't want to be capped. I didn't want to wait 10 years for someone to retire so I could move up. And I didn't want to ask for permission for time off or explain why I needed to leave a little bit early. So I started looking for something different. And that's when I found life insurance. Now, I know what you're thinking. Life insurance? That wasn't my dream either. I never woke up one day and thought, I want to be a life insurance agent. But here's what I saw. I saw an opportunity to build a real business. I saw the unlimited income potential. I saw the ability to work remotely, set my own schedule, and actually own what I was building. I looked at other options too. I thought about real estate. But in real estate, you can work for 6 months for free and get one big commission. But at the end of the day, you're building equity for your clients and not really for yourself. In life insurance, I could start making money right away. I could make smaller commissions, but more frequently. And I was building my own book of business, something that was gonna pay me over and over and over again. So I made the decision, I left my corporate job, my $50,000 a year salary, my benefits, my security, and I went all in on life insurance. And let me tell you, it was not easy at first. My first year in this industry was the hardest year of my life. I had left a place where I was comfortably making $50,000 a year, a consistent paycheck, and I came into this industry and I didn't make more money. I didn't even make the same amount of money. I actually made less money than what I was making in my corporate job. My first year, I made about $20,000. I went completely backwards. I went into debt and I had so much to learn, mostly on a personal level, but also about being a business owner and being an entrepreneur. How to manage money, how to invest in my business, how to handle rejection, how to stay consistent when nothing was working. And that almost made me quit. I had a lot of people telling me from the outside that I should quit. Because from the outside looking in, it's like, okay, you went from making 50 grand a year to 20 grand. That doesn't make sense. You should go back to corporate. And I get it. I understand why people thought that. But I pushed through because of the people that were around me. I saw what was possible. I saw other people were doing it. And I thought, there's no reason why I can't do that too. I also understood that most people, when they start a business, they're not making hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars a year in their first couple years in business. You have to build it. So I kept going. I kept dialing. I kept learning. I kept investing in leads even when I was broke. I kept showing up when I didn't want to. And then things started to click. I don't think there's one moment where everything clicked for me. I think there's multiple moments where different things have clicked. From a selling standpoint, I'll never forget my biggest sale. I was doing in-home appointments at the time, and I went to this woman's house. She was Korean, and she spoke absolutely no English. So we did the entire sale for 2 to 3 hours completely over Google Translate. Just me, her, my phone, Google Translate, going back and forth at her kitchen table. I made $6,000 in one day in one house. And that really changed the opportunity for me as a salesperson. I realized if I can make $6,000 in one day with someone who didn't even speak the same language, what was possible if I really master this? But the even bigger breakthrough for me came when I started to build a team. On the team building side, where it really clicked for me was seeing the impact this business could have on other people's lives, seeing each agent and seeing what changes happen in their life. That's where the business really clicked for me. It wasn't just about me and making money anymore. It was about helping other people build something real and having the same impact that I had in my life. And that's when everything changed. So let me tell you about some of the people on my team, because their stories are way more powerful than mine. Mary. Mary was a struggling mom. She was managing a med spa, barely making ends meet. She had 2 kids to feed, bills to pay, and no path forward. She came into this business. She had to max out credit cards to buy leads, but because she believed in herself that much, she went all in. Now she can buy whatever she wants. She can provide for her family with no stress. She's building wealth. She's not just earning income. Her kids will never know the version of the life that she escaped from. Liz. Liz came from door-to-door sales. She was out grinding in the Arizona heat, knocking doors, dealing with the physical exhaustion and inconsistent income. In 6 months, she built a 6-figure income, and now she's recruiting and building her own team. She's building something that lasts. Madison. Madison was selling power tools on construction sites. She was very successful at it. She was happy with her job, but she was driving around constantly, and as a young college grad, you don't really care, but the longer you're there, you realize it's not something people want to do forever. Now, 3 years later, she's got time and money freedom. Her life is her work is her life, and she loves it that way. She's able to go wherever she wants, do whatever she wants. If her family needs her, she can get up and go wherever, and her business goes with her. These people aren't special. They don't have some secret advantage, but they had a real reason. They were willing to work. They didn't quit when it got hard, and that's what I help people build. So you're probably wondering, how did you go from 5 agents to 100 agents in less than a year? Honestly, it was just putting more of a focus on what I had already learned. I had made a lot of mistakes in my first 4 years of business, but I've learned from them, and now I can take everything I've learned and just run with it. The turning point for me was getting myself around the right people, networking, getting into rooms with people that were doing significantly better than me, but people that also believed in me that I could do it. And then it's just being consistent, recruiting the right people, training them the right way, creating a culture where people actually want to stay and build. And that's how we went from 5 agents to over 100 agents, and we're not stopping. So people always ask me, what kind of a work-life balance does this have? And I tell them there is no work-life balance. That's something you look for when you're in corporate, because you're clocking in, you're clocking out, you're working from 9 to 5, and then you go do something else after. This is a business. There is no work-life balance, but I've always wanted that. And what I mean by that is my work has become my life has become my work. I wake up every single day and I genuinely enjoy what I am doing, what I am building, and what I am producing. But that being said, I'm also able to go do any of the things that I want to do, and my business comes with me. I can travel, I can spend time with family. I don't have to ask for permission for time off. I don't have to explain why I need to leave a little bit early or take a day off. When we look for work-life balance, it's a very corporate mindset to me versus being a business owner, which is what I've always wanted. So my life now, it looks like freedom, it looks like control, it looks like waking up every day, and I'm actually enjoying what I'm building. It looks like making more money in a month than I made in an entire year at my corporate job. And I do that now with my eyes closed because I've built a business. So you might be wondering, why do I still show up every single day? Why would I still be so involved then when I could just step back? The answer is simple. I have seen what the impact of this business has had on the people's lives around me. And for me, that's a lot more than any amount of money that you can make. I think of Mary. If I wasn't showing up, if I wasn't doing this, if I wasn't posting about it, and if she didn't know about this opportunity, where would she be in her life now? I've seen the impact that it can have and how happy it makes her, how much joy it brings to her, and what it's done for her family. And I want to be able to continue to do that for other people. So I don't believe that I can stop until I've helped every single person possible. And that's infinite. There's no limit to that. That's what drives me now. And that's why I'm still here every single day. So if you're still watching, you're probably wondering, could I do this? Is this something for me? And here's what I want you to understand about this opportunity, about this industry. The opportunity allows the average person the opportunity for beyond average results. Every single person that has come into this industry, there are people that have had no sales experience, no business experience. Maybe they graduated high school last week, maybe they graduated college last week, and they're able to become very successful business owners with crazy results. There's also a lot of people that come from a business background, a sales background. They can come into this too and get beyond average results. So anybody can do it, but that doesn't mean it's for everyone. It does require a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of grit. But for the people that really have that fire in them to make change in their life, this is something that they can make happen. If you're hungry, if you have a real reason for wanting to change your life, this can work for you too. If you're willing to put in the work, if you're willing to put in 50 to 70 hours a week at first, dial the phone, deal with rejection, invest in your business, this can work for you. If you're coachable, if you're willing to follow a system, take feedback, not reinvent the wheel, this can work for you. If you're accountable, if you're willing to look in the mirror at first when things are not working, instead of blaming the leads, the economy, me, this can work for you. But if you're looking for something that's easy, if you need guarantees, if you're just comp shopping, this probably isn't for you. Now you might be wondering, why should I reach out to you specifically versus another agency? Here's what makes our team different. It's the genuine support and the team culture that we've created. There's no reason for extreme competition, right? Especially with each other. We will all go faster if we work together and lean on each other, as opposed to if we're all trying to run our own race. So that's something I've been very big on creating in the culture within my agents. Everyone has to treat everyone with respect. There's nobody in this agency that's better than somebody else, including myself. And I think that's what makes our team really, really different. You could walk into the office, you could walk into the room, and you're probably not even gonna know who's in charge, who's a top producer, who's a brand new agent. Maybe they started yesterday, because everyone will treat you the same and everyone treats each other the same. That's the culture we've built. And that's why people stay and build here. So if everything I just said resonates with you, and you're ready to make a change, if you're hungry, if you're willing to work, here's what I want you to do. I want you to click the link below, and you have a couple of options. Option 1, you can book a call with me directly. We'll talk about your situation, your goals, figure out if this is the right move for you. Option 2, you can watch the next video where I break down exactly what this looks like, who it's for, who it's not for, what to expect in your first year, all the questions I get asked on every single call. That video will help you understand if you should even book a call. Either way, click the link below and take the next step. I'm looking for people who are hungry, coachable, and ready to work. If that's you, I'd love to talk. If you're not ready yet, that's okay too. Keep following along. See what we're building, and when you're ready, reach out. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next video or on a call, but either way, I appreciate you being here.